Okay, good morning, everyone. As a quick intro, I'm Amy Allen, the founder and managing director of Sendploy.co.uk. And we have Steph Yates, who is the founder of the Butterfly Princess Send initiative. And we're both on a bit of a mission to get more people working in special educational needs and disabilities. And we thought it might be quite useful to bring job descriptions to life, because I think it's all well and good hearing what role job titles are out there, but I think to actually bring them to life would be really, really helpful. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what's involved in the jobs that we're going to talk about, which specifically today are going to be a teaching assistant level role, and also a support worker, care worker, residential support worker, that type of position. And then Steph's really going to use her own experience to advise individuals and talk to our audience about how her experience can be used to benefit others with the knowledge that she has with these types of positions. So first of all, let's look at special education. And special education really is an opportunity for people who have physical, mental and behavioural difficulties or disabilities. It gives them the chance to meet their full potential. So special education is designed to meet the particular learning needs of every unique child. It's a very rewarding and very challenging area to work in, and most people find it extremely fulfilling. So if you want to have a look at jobs that are available, sendploy.co.uk is a really, really useful resource to have a look at the types of positions that are there. So should we go on to teaching assistant first, Steph?
Yeah, that's fine.
Wonderful. Okay, so a teaching assistant mainly works within an educational setting, and they'll support the teacher to deliver learning to pupils. It's a really key role within a teaching environment, and it's often the route that many people will take before training to be a class teacher. It's a really important job in itself, and it demands a lot of resilience and hard work. So what I thought I'd do, Steph, is really talk now about on a day-to-day basis what a teaching assistant actually does, just to give people an idea. So a teaching assistant will probably work on a one-to-one basis or with small groups of children. They'll follow, adapt, create work plans, support with behaviour management. So really focus on modelling positive behaviour and setting examples of how to behave, putting strategies in place to ensure that the children and young people are able to learn about their triggers and how to associate the triggers and how to behave once they feel that trigger is riding. So also looking at creating resources for the classroom, so making sure symbols are ready for students, making sure their timeline is prepared for the day, and looking at making sure resources for the individual students are there and ready. That can be a real trigger, I think, Steph, can't it? If resources
are it can.
In place.
Yeah, if like people, because like, you know, if they're working with a child who's got a behavioural challenging behaviour, then, you know, we need to understand that we've got challenging behaviour needs, but we also need to work out a strategy that's appropriate for the classroom so it's not disrupting the rest of the children.
Absolutely, yeah. So again, and that leads on nicely to supporting the emotional and social well-being of pupils. So really acting as a mentor and potentially having to do personal care for those individuals as well, or indeed supporting them with their personal care. And I think you can also be, as a teaching assistant, you can potentially be the eyes and ears for students with multisensory impairments. Teaching them to be independent, but also supporting them with any difficulties that they might have. I think as a teaching assistant as well, you'll be involved in supporting your peers, so lots of staff development, involved in creating a curriculum and potentially a bespoke curriculum, I would imagine, Steph.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and other professional sort of opportunities such as learning BSL, Makaton, and other types of continued professional development that they need to do. So is there anything else you can add there, Steph, with regards to sort of what you can see a teaching assistant doing?
Well, basically, we've covered a large amount, really, but I also think that another important role of a teaching assistant is to be a soundboard between the school and the parent and carers, really, because the teaching assistant will observe how the child is in the classroom.
Yeah.
So they really need to be able to communicate that back to the parent or carers and work with them on an even keel to say this is how they behave in school, this is how we can support them. We can also takes a lot of work for the parent carers to do at home as well. So it's all about teamwork.
Yeah, and really collaborating as a team to ensure that the child is the centre of that and make sure it's child focused.
Yeah. So mainly if that school has the right resources, maybe it'd be good to bring the parent carers in on a regular basis, maybe either by Zoom or whatever, or face to face, where you as a team, the class teachers, support teachers, we all have a meeting where we can discuss where the child's at home and school, and they can work out a plan to best support that child.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really all about working together, isn't it? And that collaboration with the multidisciplinary teams. I think that's a really valid point. So I think it'd be really helpful, Steph, if we can give our audience a bit of a pointer as to how they can enter into the pathway of becoming a teaching assistant. And I've got some notes here as to how they can do that. And I think what I really want to say is it's not about having a qualification. It's about having a passion, a dedication and a focus to have a drive to support the children, young people, and to really enhance their lives. Now, qualifications can help, but I would just say if anyone has got that drive and ambition, really go for it, and you can learn as you go in terms of getting a professional qualification. So gain some experience working with children, young people. It could be volunteering at school, could be a youth club, holiday scheme, could be finding paid work within those types of settings. If you have a degree, you could sign up to an agency, and the agency could find you long-term or temporary paid placements that you could do your one-to-one and gain some experience in that way. And that's a really good opportunity to sort of try before you buy, if you like. So you can decide if you like to work in that particular setting, and you can gain lots of practical experience within a setting and then move on to another one if it doesn't quite suit you. So it's a really good way of upskilling yourself. Lots and lots of college courses out there. You can get a certificate in supporting teaching and learning in schools, potentially a diploma in childcare and education. Certificates in health and social care, all really, really relevant to working in this type of environment. You can get an apprenticeship, you can apply directly to schools for training, and lots of provisions and school settings will actually support you to get your professional qualifications as well once you're in there. Sometimes placements are within mainstream school, but that's absolutely fine. You can then gain as much experience and qualifications as you can within whatever setting. And if you decide that you want to specialise in SEND, then great for us, and you can move across into that type of setting. And lots of career progression opportunity from being a TA and getting lots of experience. The next step up would probably to be a class manager or level 3. And then again, you can move up again to be a high level teaching assistant. And then maybe go on to be a teacher or even further if that's what you so desire. But we'll talk about the next step up and the next roles in another session. Is there anything you want to add about sort of the professional training there, Steph?
Just basically, I like the fact that it's not just everything's educational. You don't just need qualifications, because I think, qualifications, it helps a lot, but qualifications aren't the be all and end all. It's more about lived experience and things like that. So like you say, this amount of go and gaining experience, as much experience as you can. And basically this is one of the things that I want to do. So like, if anyone's watching this, you know, like if anyone thinking of becoming a TA or any of the roles that we discuss in this series, then please get in touch with me, because I would love to do like little training vlogs with you, you know, to talk to you about these roles, speech therapists and stuff, you know, because I've got lived experience of living with a disability for 28 years, you know, I'd really like to share a passion. And also during lockdown, I did a number of online courses. There are a number of online courses that are reasonably priced, so that you can do them at your own pace. There's no time limit, and you just go with the flow whenever you feel that you want to put in the work that you want to put in.
That's really helpful advice, Steph. Thank you for that. And I noticed as well, there are so many courses out there, and it's also a link we're going to be doing through Semploy quite shortly, is to be able to provide people with the opportunity to actually do some online learning as well before they start applying for jobs. But I think we reiterate, it's not essential, but I think it is really good to further your career and to keep your continued professional development ongoing. So Steph is a great resource as well. So if anyone wants to talk to her, then we'll leave our contact details at the end of the blog. So let's move on to the role of, it's quite an all-encompassing, isn't it? A caregiver, support worker, care worker, residential support worker, lots and lots of different job titles with fundamentally a very similar outlook to what you would actually be doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's really a very much a face-to-face, long-term relationship where you may live in the home of a child or young person to support them, be that within a children's service or a sort of a children's residential care home, or within their own home, or it could be that you go into a sort of a short break service and provide that care. So there's lots and lots of different opportunities to support independent living for those children and young people. But the day-to-day tasks will really depend on, and they'll change depending on the complexity of need of the child or young person and the specific needs of the person that you're caring for. So it's not just about being in the home either, it's about supporting people in the community. So it's really giving a holistic approach to providing care and support for the individuals that do need it. And it's also providing support to their families as well, and ensuring that they have the support they need to be able to give the care required to their child and to enable their child to live their best life. So that could be on an emotional and practical level. It could be helping to make food, helping the child or young person to eat, or making the food for the child if that's not something they are able to do, and it could be a work towards that. It's a progression opportunity to get that child or young person working towards making their own food. You really need to learn about their interests and their need, what they like to do, and then organise leisure activities and accessing the community around what that person enjoys doing. Might be about carrying out household jobs for the individual, washing clothes, shopping, as we said, making food, and supporting with physical and mental well-being through activities as well. So support groups and enabling access to the community, which I know you're a massive advocate of, Steph, aren't you?
Yeah, because obviously, you know, you say people with SEND or disabilities, they need to get out as much as they can. Don't just let them fester in 4 walls. You know, we've got to experience the what life's really like, and so we can like make friendships with their peers and like do things that their peers can do to the best of their abilities. I think to be a support worker, a caregiver, it takes a certain kind of person. You know, you've got to be very thoughtful, you've got to be very supportive, you've got to have a lot of patience, because some people with SEND needs and disabilities, children and young people, may have communication issues, so they may not be able to pick up certain things at one time. It may be a case of repeating the same thing over and over again, so they eventually grasp it. So it takes time, and obviously, you know, it takes an amount of trust, because obviously if you're providing personal care for that person, then you need to be a trusted person, you know, make sure you have a DBS check and you're fully checked, because obviously you don't want to be working with any like who's had a history of child abuse or whatever, and so that's really important. Because like when I was mentioning in the previous series of like when I was a victim of child abuse, which is now in which I'm taking that further now, but I wish that there were more people then to safeguard me and like to like for it to like so that person could not mistreat me the way they did.
Yeah, and I think that's where the online courses, safeguarding and such like, are so important. And I try and reiterate this to so many people that do apply through Semploy, is that you need to have a DBS, and if you haven't got one, you will need to have one before you can actually start work. Your DBS is essentially your most crucial part of your toolkit for your career if you do want to embark on a career in SEND. So you need to have one, or you need to be willing to apply for one. And there's lots and lots of people out there that can support you with that, and we can put some links on the website as well to help with that. But I think as well, once you get to know the individual or the individuals that you're going to be supporting in this type of role, it's understanding what are their specific needs, and really looking at doing maybe some additional training or courses within that. So, for example, autism awareness, some communication skills, behaviour support. And I think there's lots of career opportunities within this type of role as well, to become sort of a house manager, or a lead and management position with individuals. So there's lots of career opportunities and qualifications that you can study for. So as well as the courses that we talked about earlier, the level 5 diploma in leadership and management for adult care is a really key one if you did want to progress into working within the residential care services. And a degree in social work, nursing, anything like that, I think is massively relevant. And again, this can be through a college course, apprenticeship, applying directly to a care provider. But I think building your own experience through volunteering at a care home, a charity, hospital, hospice, that'll put you in really good stead for training. And also time spent caring for a family member as well is really good experience. So there's lots and lots of ways to gain experience in that type of role. So Steph, can you add anything else about how this type of role can really benefit and enhance the lives of children and young people with SEND?
Well, obviously, I can speak again from personal experience, because like all throughout my vlogs I talk about personal experience, like I did in series 1. Yeah, I had a PA a few years ago, a personal assistant, and they helped me with, you know, like accessing the community and with personal care, and I suppose, and I've got to say that really helped me, you know, gain more confidence. I became out of my shell. It sort of helped me become the butterfly princess that I am today. So I think that is a very for me it wasn't a challenging experience, because I'm not one with varied behaviour needs. I just have a disability, but for others it can be really challenging. challenging career, but it can also be very rewarding in the fact that you know you're making a really positive experience and a really positive impact on that child's life and preparing them for adulthood and stuff like that, and for the later years in the life.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Steph. And it's great that you can really speak from your own experience. So I think we've got a few takeaways from today, that any job working in special education is really about being able to collaborate with parents, caregivers, be that teaching assistants, support workers. So that collaboration is really key. It's really important to talk to people who have got lived experience, such as Steph, and other advocates for SEND out there. Very important to get yourselves professional qualifications and training. That can be done online. Lots and lots of training providers out there. But also, if you've got the dedication and focus and passion to support children and young people, go for it. It's about having the right attitude and the right character, and then qualifications can be attained later. Break down barriers. There shouldn't really be any barriers to entering into this type of
No, there shouldn't at all.
Anyone can do it if you've got the right attitude, and I think we need to encourage more and more people to enter into SEND. It takes a certain kind of person, so if you're thoughtful and supportive and you have lots of patience, then it could be a really, really good opportunity for you and a really good career. There's a lot of trust involved, so if you are a really trustworthy person, then that is going to be really, really paramount importance. Make sure you have a DBS in place, and if not, be willing to apply for one. And as Steph said, working in this type of position can have a massively positive impact on a child's life, and providing them with the skills to move forward as independently as possible into adulthood. So thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Anything else to add?
Just that, obviously, if you want to work with me, I'll be willing to work with you for free because I do it as a hobby. Just drop me an email, butterflyprincess93@outlook.com, or you can I have a Facebook page and an Instagram page, and my Facebook page is the Butterfly Princess SEND Initiative, and Instagram is the Butterfly Princess Show, because one day I would really like to have my own talk show where I'm talking to professionals and members of the public about these issues, and obviously connect with Semploy and stuff, and Amy as well.
Brilliant. That's great, Steph. Yeah, I would encourage everyone out there to contact Steph. And if you do want to find a job in working in SEN, then Semploy is semploy.co.uk is there ready and waiting for your applications. So look forward to seeing you all next week. Thanks.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.